All right, welcome GymACT Nation to episode 2 of GymACT's Gym Talk. We are sitting down with the founder and first president of GymACT, Mr. Scott Barclay. Last time we talked about kind of where it started, and Scott, this time we really want to get into in 2018, GymACT formed, and it was this passion project. And these 6 or 7 coaches sat down and went, "We're not just gonna take the exit on the freeway here. We're gonna fight. We're gonna stay on this path, and we're gonna find a way to make it work." You took over, you started this organization, you became the president of another 501c3, put another thing on your plate. And 5 years later, after the 2023 Nationals, you handed that presidency off to Mr. Mike Burns. And we're going to be talking to him later in the web series here. But I wanted to just kind of talk about what you started with in 2018 at that table, sitting at the Academy Hotel, and where it was at when you kind of passed the reins on to other people. Who got involved, how many people have dove in just in the first 5 years, and kind of, can you speak to how it shifted from when it started to what it's at today?
Yeah, good point. It's kind of exciting to see something like this. It's when I have a gymnastics club, and people say, "Oh, your dream, you're in your club," and I said I never wanted to be a gymnastic club owner. It's one thing I said I would never do, and yet here I am. So you got to be careful of things, never saying never, right? With GymACT, it's kind of the dream that was kind of there has gone beyond what I've even thought it could be, in terms of a national thing, which I'm really excited to be part of, because it takes a lot of people to put something like this together. So going back in 2018 at that famous Academy Hotel meeting, late at night, goes up to 1 a.m. I can't remember, it was late, but we shut everything down. It was because we wanted to make sure that we had opportunities for our teams and gymnasts following to be able to do gymnastics on a collegiate level and get an education. That was really core to us. And we understood, going back thinking, USAG may not be here next year. Everybody's, oh, they're going to be around. It was a question mark. The other thing was the NCAA. Are they going to be around? So that was a question mark. Everybody's dropping. They were going down about 12 teams now. I'm going, man, what do we have to rely on other than ourselves? So that's where we started GymACT, and said we're going to become an official organization, and that's when it happened. So from that time, we went to Oklahoma City to the Junior Nationals, which is where the
MDPC.
Collegiate Men's, not the MPC, but the Collegiate Men's Gymnastics Association.
Oh, okay.
Men's Collegiate Coaches Association. They met every year at the Junior Nationals, the college coaches, which I used to be a part of when I was an NCAA coach with ASU here. And we'd meet every year. And that's where you pound a lot of things out. But that was the one time you get time to do it, because you didn't have a competition to worry about. You just were there. So Mike Burns was the president at the time. And I just went up to him and I said, "Mike, can we get on your agenda?" The main reason is because I want to be able to explain to the coaches what's going on. You might be hearing about GymACT, but I want you to know what GymACT is. And I don't want it to be a threat to you. I want it to be something that would help support you and your numbers, because obviously you only got 12 teams. Having meets is hard. We'd love to have meets with you. We'd love to be competitive. We'd love to do that. And Mike gave me time at that meeting for the first time, and that's kind of when it was recognized. The neat thing about it was right before the meeting, we're all sitting around as GymACT coaches talking about what we want to talk about and how it's going down. We're having a little at the breakfast bar, and Mike walks up and says, "Hey, can I join you?" And at that time, I was like, "Not really, but I'll be nice to you today." Yeah, sit down. Fortunately, I did, because he ended up buying our breakfast. It was nice of him. But Mike was really part of a good catalyst there, because he has the inclusive mindset of, hey, let's include people rather than going against. I feel the same way. We are all trying to do the same thing out there as coaches and college coaches. So we got to get up there in front of the coaches and the Coach Association and pitch our thing, what we're doing, what we'd like to do would be included. If you ever need meets, we want to be a part of that. Or if you want to come down to meets, do the same thing.
So
So
is
that was the
this
start. That kind of really made it official.
at Junior Nationals in 2018? Okay, so you guys met at the
Uh,
Academy Hotel in 2018, and then only a couple months later is when you were presenting this, because that
I
would have been
believe it
Oklahoma
was.
City, because 2019 was in Reno. So wow, you guys moved
Yep.
fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Things happened fast and it clicked at the right time, and the right people were in the right place. It was good. So from there, okay, now we've got our 6 initial teams, and then we just start competing against each other. We call ourselves GymACT, start getting that brand out, and from there, a lot of things happen. And you kind of have to read the history books, but from that, we've had a lot of things spawn off from it, including our GymACT College Bound meet, or College Bound camp,
Right.
which we do every summer up in Colorado, which is great. What a great concept that we came up with that. And Mark Bogaget opened his gym up there, which you got a fantastic gym. I think the first year we had over 100 kids, and it's just exciting. It's fun, but all the coaches get together, and they're all there from all the teams, and any kid in high school can come and be a part of it, meet all the coaches, get coached by all the coaches, find out what their styles are, see what their temperament is, see what they really like, and they can start picking programs right from there. It's really a neat thing that we've done. We've also added a commissioner. Mark Bogaget has been very good. He's got a great mindset as far as a business. He's done a lot of great things as a gymnast, first of all, out in California. He's come out and done some really neat things. So Mark has really stepped up the pace, kind of given a kickstart by being a commissioner, donating his time to help out that way, which really doubles up, I think, everything we've been doing. We've been
Right.
able to get organized under him. We've been able to do a lot of things that we probably would have walked along at a snail's pace because, like I said, I run a sports center. I coach. I have to do all the fundraising. I don't have time to run a national program, and I don't have the effort. So every one of us as coaches are very limited in terms of what we do. But the camp is one of those great things.
So what is Mark's role as a commissioner? What does the commissioner do for GymACT?
Well, initially I liked him because he picked up a lot of the slack that I couldn't do, and was trying to do. And I wanted to get out of it so I could run my program better. And he said, well, instead of getting out of it, why don't I just pick it up as a commissioner and help with a lot of these projects, which that really, really did help and allowed me to continue on to being a president and helping with the guidance and being the old man on the block.
Right.
But he helps a lot with the organization of it. He knows a lot of people. Being involved in the junior program also has been a good bridge with everything we've done. So that bridge between the junior program, USAG, NGA now is coming up real strong. We want to be a good bridge with them. Mark is kind of that guy that is really good. So he's
Okay.
been a real blessing to have around to take that role as the commissioner and deal with the practical everyday handling of our league, basically.
Right. He's kind of the guy that takes anything the president or the board kind of comes up with and facilitates some of those ideas and things.
Yeah. And the other big thing I think between 18 and 23, Kev, was of course COVID played a huge role.
Yeah.
It hurt everybody in a lot of ways. But on the one hand, one year when USAG canceled, or actually they canceled the collegiate national championships, which was our national champion. That's one thing we look forward to every year. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have the motivation to train every day and say we're going to
Right.
a national championship, right? So they canceled it, and I'm like, it was the year that we were actually going to host it down here,
That's right. That was
and
2020.
it was a big blow, man. We were excited to having it on our turf, and it was great. So when that happened, we just sat back and we go, you got a choice to make. You always have a choice. You fall off pommel horse, you got a choice. You either get back up and start swinging again, or you walk off and pout. Right. So, I remember just sitting down with the board and going, you know what? We're having a national championship. I don't care what anybody else is doing. We're having a national championship. It may be in my gym. That's okay, but we're having a national championship. So we started planning, and everybody put their heads together. And fortunately, it didn't end up in my gym. somebody just said, and somebody said, hey, you know what? Why don't we? They're having the JO Nationals. Why don't we check with them? Actually, it started with a regional championship in Tennessee. We were going to tie in with
Okay.
them and have it on a Wednesday night in Tennessee before before their regional championship, and that was about 80% nailed down. And somebody just said, well, what about the Nationals? It's in
Oh, so
Florida. They're going to have the Nationals.
this was in 21. I guess I didn't realize that they had canceled the collegiate nationals in 21.
Yes, they did have it in 20, not 21. That's
Right.
right. So we said, let's just call them and ask them. So we went to the PC board and just said, hey, what do you think? And they just, make a long story short, they basically said, whoa, we don't do anything on Saturday night. It's a dead time. And we go,
Perfect.
well, you got the apparatus. The judges are sitting around. Sorry, you can't have dinner early that night, but why don't we just have a meet there? Would
Right.
you entertain the thought? So USAG and put it together, MPC put it together, and Mark was a real key catalyst in that. And you know what? It came together. We went down there for one of the most exciting meets we've ever been a part of, to be honest with you. It was exciting. I think, Kev, you were there.
Yep.
I didn't remember, but it was fun. Saturday night, all the junior kids could come out, the parents could come out and see what is GymACT. And of course, we're still not really known by that time. But that, I think, was the turning point for really getting visibility for GymACT and who we are as a program, because we had 10 teams there, I believe, 9 or 10. And we had a very exciting competition,
Right.
really exciting. And it came down to the end, and we had a great meet. Everybody loved it. It filled the spot at the JO Nationals. So the next year we did it again, and now it's kind of part of their repertoire. I think we're
Yep.
going to keep going on it, hopefully, and it's been
Yeah.
good. So that's been a big part of it.
And I think it was a huge turning point for the men's community. Like you mentioned earlier, obviously we all know what happened in 2018 with USAG and everything that was going on. They cleaned house, and I know there were a lot of people in the community that were just unsure of what that really meant, because we've all watched these big corporations say they're cleaning house and then not actually take action. And to see in 21 them inviting GymACT in and putting that foot forward and saying, you know what, we are going to support the men's community, we are going to take action. I think for a lot of the men's community, it was a show of good faith that, this rebranding and everything had gone well. And it's put a lot of trust back into USAG as an organization. And it's done nothing but, I mean, I run a junior program, and my guys love going to watch the GymACT meet, because, even the athletes are like, man, I got nothing to do on Saturday night. They shouldn't be out at amusement parks or, on vacation at that time. Go watch the meet and then get to bed early. And, the last thing I want to touch on is, but before we end this episode, is the community that GymACT has built. I was in the broadcast booth all of the 23 nationals, and we were sitting there, and we're in there, we're broadcasting, we're talking about, we're literally just watching a TV screen and talking, and then we walk out and talking to all the coaches, and the whole floor is filled with what is it, 14 teams now of just guys, and no one's really trying to leave. Everybody's hanging out, and they're interacting with each other, and they're going, man, that was great. Like, oh my gosh, we thought we had you. And then you guys just had, a bunch of the Temple guys were congratulating the AMG guys, because, man, Temple was in it. Temple was going to take the national title, and we were blown away because we just didn't know they had that kind of firepower. We knew they were going to be in the mix, but like, they were winning rotation 3, and then rotation 4 core came, and AMG was just like, no, we got this. And you guys kind of walked away with it. But after the meet, there wasn't any animosity. There wasn't. I watched guys from Arizona coming up to guys from Temple. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys surprised us. Congratulations. That's awesome. We can't wait to, kind of keep warding you off a little bit. And the Temple guys are like, man, great job, guys. Way to finish off. And that community that's come about is so incredible. I think it's so unique to gymnastics, especially men's gymnastics. I think it's so unique. So
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
It is huge. And I'll just tell you this, you made me think about how important that is. One of the great things about GymACT is our freedom and our flexibility that we have. We're not tied down by the NCAA rules. We're not tied down by the FIG rules. We can make our own rules based on how gymnastics is changed and how we can mold with it and move with it. So I would love any reaction, even to this podcast, right in. What would you like to see in a college gymnastics meet? What's important? Because I'll tell you, we are ready to roll. We made a few changes this last year with the rules, real slight changes, but we'd like to be creative. We want to be more creative in our rules. We want to be more forward moving in them as we move forward to make it spectator friendly, good for the athletes, and good for the whole sport in general. So we've got some freedom there, Kevin. I'm excited about the future of what we're going to do rule wise too.
Right. Well, Scott, thank you so much for sitting down with us this morning. And everybody watching this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, because we do have one more episode with Scott coming up. So make sure you keep it right here on the GymACT YouTube channel, because when we talk to him next time, we're going to be talking about the Arizona program. We're going to be talking to head coach Scott Barclay as the founder and head coach of the Arizona program. So Scott, thank you so much for sitting down, and make sure you keep it right here for the next episode.
Thanks, Kev. Great time.